If I were to ask you one question about The Last of Us, it would be, what did you think of that opening scene? The answer I'm assuming you would give is how the scene pulled you in and made you feel like you were Joel and you were Sarah. That's what I want to talk about today, the idea and the concept of emotional hooks. An emotional hook is when an audience member is pulled in by an emotional experience, but I say that old music sting with a jump scare or a threat of capture is just getting old. We've seen it time and time again with movies such as The Dark Knight.
And those criminals are back on the streets, followed swiftly by you and me.
And even in other games such as Five Nights at Freddy's, which spawned 4 games, God knows how many sequels, and made all of the money in King Tut's castle. Today I'm going to show you how The Last of Us does this with writing. The game opens up with Sarah lying asleep on a couch when Joel walks in on a loud call with his brother that just doesn't sound too enjoyable.
Tommy, listen to me. He is the contractor. He's the contractor, okay? I can't lose this job. I understand. Let's talk about this in the morning, okay? We'll talk about it in the morning. All right, good night.
Hey,
Scoot.
Monday at work, huh?
What are you still doing up? It's late.
Crud, what time is it?
It's way past your bedtime.
But it's still today.
Honey, please not right now. I do not have the energy for this.
Here,
What's this?
your birthday? You kept complaining about your broken watch. So I figured, you know. You like it?
Honey, this is... It's
What?
nice, but I think it's stuck. It's not...
What? No. Oh, ha ha.
Where did you get the money for this?
Drugs. I sell hardcore drugs.
Oh, good. You started helping out with the mortgage then.
Yeah, you wish.
This sets up for a tragedy by giving us this image of bliss and comfort, but deep down, we know it won't last. Just by looking at the box art, we can see Joel and Ellie, but no Sarah. And having been conditioned with shows like The Walking Dead and movies like A Quiet Place in recent years showing us that horror writers aren't afraid to pull at our heartstrings and kill off the main cast like that. We are quickly ripped from the sense of bliss, so to speak, when Sarah is woken up for the second time now by a frantic call from Uncle Tommy that just gets cut off midway through.
Hello?
Sarah, honey, I need to get your daddy on the phone.
Uncle Tommy, what time is it?
I need to talk to your dad now. There's something...
Uncle Tommy? Hello? What was that all about?
Now we get our first taste of gameplay. The way Neil Druckmann puts it,
You connect with them in this very subconscious level. I don't even know how to articulate it, but you hear people say, I am Joel, or that part when they're finally playing as Ellie. This is totally unique to gaming, and we watch this over and over again as focus testers get to that part and like, oh my God, I'm Ellie. And you see they change how they play because now they're seeing themselves as this child, this like teenager that doesn't have the stature of this large man, and they play differently and they look at the world differently. And it's how you can use control of a character to create such strong empathy. We had an opening where you played as Joel and you went to the neighbor's house. You have to put one of these infected down and then run back and go get your daughter, and then you're playing as Joel every step of the way. And there's something about that opening, it just felt very familiar. And then in brainstorming with some of the designers and other people, we had this aha moment of like, well, what if you didn't play as Joel?
we're left confused and curious, left to wander the house until we stumble into Joel's room with a TV broadcasted that reads in the bottom headline, Infection spreads to Austin, giving us another hint of the horrors to come. Then, boom. An explosion on the TV coincides with the one just outside the window. Now we're scared. The thing is, we know something's coming, and we have no way to defend ourselves, and we have no idea what it is. We're left yet again to our own devices to explore the first floor of the house when we stumble upon Joel's phone sitting on the kitchen counter, dimly lighting up the dark wall. All of a sudden, the dog that's been barking outside the house since the explosion lets out a loud, pained yelp. We walk into the study to see Joel busting into the door covered in blood and looking like he'd just seen a ghost. We're filled with questions. Where did he go? Where did he come from? Whose blood is that? Then Joel grabs a gun and tells Sarah to stand behind him.
There you are.
Sarah, are you okay?
Yeah?
Does anyone come in here?
No, who would come in here?
Don't go near the doors. Just stand back there.
More questions arise when before we can even think to finish them, an infected slams into the sliding glass door.
What's going on?
It's the Coopers. Something ain't right with them. I think they're sick.
What kind of sick?
Jesus.
Dad?
Honey, come here. Come here. Jimmy. Jimmy, stay back! Jimmy, I am warning you. Don't!
Now we're nervous. We know that there are monsters outside and we're playing and experiencing this outbreak as an incapable little girl. By this point, we're already so invested. We can hardly separate reality from fiction when it comes to our own emotions. That's great writing. Within the first 10 minutes, we already feel a connection to these characters. Even Tommy, who we've only heard through a quick 3-second phone call and 2 text messages from him on Joel's phone. By this time, Tommy got antsy and drove to Joel and Sarah's house to make sure they were safe and to get them to a safer location, as they were the only family we can assume he has. Joel leads Sarah out to Tommy's truck and the following scene plays out.
You shot him.
Sarah,
I saw him this morning.
listen to me. There is something bad going on. We have got to get out of here. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Tommy, come on. Come on.
Where the hell you been? You have any idea what's going on out there?
I got some notion. Come on. Shit. It ain't mine. Let's just get out of here.
They're saying half the people in the city lost their minds.
Can we just please go?
Some sort of parasite or something. You gonna tell me what happened?
Later.
How you holding up, honey?
I'm fine. Can we hear us on the radio?
Yeah, sure thing.
Thanks.
No cell phone, no radio. Yeah, we're doing great. A minute ago, newsman wouldn't shut up.
He said where to go?
They said, Army's put up roadblocks on the highway. No getting into Travis County.
We need to get the hell out. Take 71.
71, that's where I'm headed.
Did they say how many are dead?
Probably a lot. They found this one family all mangled inside their
Tommy.
house. Right. Sorry.
Christ, how did this happen?
They got no clue. But we ain't the only town. First they were saying it's just the South. Now they're going on about the East Coast and West Coast. Holy hell. That's Lewis's farm. I hope that sumbitch made it out.
Sure he did.
Were we sick?
No, of course not.
How do you know?
They said it's just people in the city. We're good.
Didn't Jimmy work in the city?
That's right, he did. We're fine, trust me.
All right.
Let's see what they need.
What do you think you're doing? Keep driving.
I got a kid, Joel.
So do
But
we.
we have room.
Keep driving, Tommy. You ain't seen what I seen. Someone else will come along.
You should have helped.
Let's go ahead and rewind back to that family on the road. That is another subtle trigger to draw you into this world. The idea is that seeing this family of 3 on the road with a child just like the one you're with, this trigger makes you think, well, what if that was me? Which draws us in further by making us, as the player, associate deeper with these fictional characters that are just pixels on our TV screen. While you're given a chance to breathe and think for a second, you're driven into Austin, when all of a sudden you run into a crowd of people running towards you around a flipped tanker. This also raises more questions. How did that tanker get here? What are they running from? Which Sarah kindly brings up.
Come on, people, move.
What are they running from?
You continue for another 10 seconds until... When you finally come to, you don't pick back up as Sarah. You play as Joel, making you way more capable until...
Get back, get back.
Dad?
I'm here, baby. I'm here. Come, give me your hand. What is it?
My leg hurts.
How bad?
Pretty bad.
We're gonna need to run. God. Keep us safe.
This is a great way to introduce Joel plays and his mindset and just the way he thinks and the way you're going to be playing him as a character throughout the rest of this game. Meanwhile, it still keeps you in the same mindset of needing to be protected while also feeling the power of being capable. You run through alleyways and through a bar with Tommy guiding and protecting you until he stays behind at the bar to hold off a few infected to give you and Sarah the chance to get to a safe zone and get her leg looked at. When all of a sudden there's an infected that runs around the building, tackles some poor man, mauls him to death, then quickly switches attention to you. While you're trying to outrun this infected person, it's quickly gaining ground when you pass a flipped ambulance that contains another infected. All hope seems lost. It looks like you and your daughter are about to get eaten and mauled to death by these things, when a little glimmer of hope shines down.
It's okay, baby. We're safe. We're safe. Hey, we need help.
By this time, we've already swallowed this story in this world hook, line, and sinker. And we already see a glimmer of hope for a brighter future in this world that has just been so quickly plunged into darkness when all of a sudden, seemingly out of nowhere,
Help. Stop! Please. It's my daughter. I think her leg is broken. Stop right there! Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple of civilians in the outer perimeter. Please advise.
Daddy, what about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you to safety and go back for him, okay?
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Please don't. Oh no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. God. Listen to me. I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby. Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah. Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, no, no. Please. 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 Please.
Within the first 20 depressing minutes of this amazing and detailed story, we've already established Joel's loyalty, his character as a person, the world these characters inhabit, and so much more. And it was all made easy to digest in a ridiculously short amount of time. That is what good writing is. That's what my point of this video was. It was to highlight how to draw an audience in, because I think we could all admit that a boring movie, a movie that we feel completely detached from, and that we're just looking down upon it and we have no connection to anybody, is a bad movie, or it's a bad game, or it's a bad book, it's a bad story in general. And as a writer, if you're trying to overcome that, this is something you can learn from. So if you don't have this game, if you've never played it, or you've never even seen somebody play this, go on YouTube if you don't have a PlayStation, or if you have a PlayStation, pick up the remastered copy. It's only like $20, and experience this amazing world for yourself. It is a masterclass in storytelling. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and maybe you learned something even. If so, hit that sub button and hit the thumbs up too to help get my videos to a wider audience. So, alright, with that, have a good day everyone.